Look at the look at the ratio. 1.8 thumbs up to 6.6 down.
Yeah, that's
260k 260k views. Uh oh. Bruce says you're welcome, Sammy, and then uh a laughing emoji. I don't. Who knows what she means?
I'm assuming that she quit either the jump or something else, or she's going to make a video about how we're gay again or something. So
Oh boy, listen, man. Just so you can just stop putting that out into the ether. It's fine, you know. I'll be gay for you as long as we're on the internet, Sammy. But as soon as that rape chair gets close to me, I'm sorry. I have guns.
well,
I don't know that they'll help, but
you know, your alter ego drunk pecs said on that one stream, "I'm retarded, Sammy," and after tonight, that may no longer be the case because from what I'm hearing, Biden has made Down syndrome look like high Q.
you know what he has? He has fucking what 90-year-old man 50-year politic brain fucking rot. He's a puppet, man. But this is
Well,
this is significantly worse than anything anyone I think alive has ever seen.
holy shit! Yeah, you weren't kidding about the ratio. 6.6 downvote. Yeesh. To just that. Oh my god! Yeah, this is bad. All right, playing the tape for those listening on audio.
A tough day. This evening in Kabul, as you all know, terrorists attacked that we've been talking about and worried about, that the intelligence community has assessed, has undertaken an attack by a group known as ISIS-K. Took the lives
ISIS
of
what?
American service members.
ISIS K? You mean? So wait, I'm sorry, just like you mean just like COVID has new variants now, ISIS has new variants? That's what I'm getting from this. ISIS K.
Standing guard at the airport, wounded several others seriously. He had also wounded a number of civilians, and civilians were killed as well. I've been engaged all day in constant contact with the military commanders here in Washington and the Pentagon, as well as in Afghanistan and Doha. And my commanders here in Washington in the field have been on this with great detail, and you've had a chance to speak to some so far. The situation on the ground is still evolving, and I'm constantly being updated. These American service members who gave their lives, it's an overused word, but it's totally appropriate here, were heroes. Heroes who've been engaged in a dangerous, selfless mission to save the lives of others.
I'm sorry, but how is the word heroes overused when it comes to the military?
Well, as I believe we find out later in this thing, towards the end, the questionnaire part, it's all a script. This is not Joe Biden's words. This is some conglomeration of fucking people putting words into this puppet's mouth with their
Yeah.
hand, the metaphorical hand up his ass.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, geez, who could have seen this coming?
They're a part of an airlift, an evacuation effort unlike any seen in history, with more than 100,000 American citizens, American partners, Afghans who helped us, and others taken to safety in the last 11 days. Just in the last 12 hours or so, another 7,000 have gotten out. They were part of the bravest, most capable, the most selfless military on the face of the earth. And they're part of simply what I call the backbone of America. They're the spine of America, the best the country has to offer. Jill and I, our hearts ache, like I'm sure all of you do as well, for all those Afghan families who lost loved ones, including small children, or been wounded in this vicious attack. And we're outraged as well as heartbroken. Being the father of a Army major who served for a year in Iraq, and before that was in Kosovo as a U.S. attorney for the better part of 6 months in the middle of a war. When he came home after a year in Iraq, he was diagnosed, like many, many coming home, with an aggressive and lethal cancer of the brain. We lost. We have some sense, like many of you do, what the families of
Can you
these
pause
brave
it
heroes
for
are
a second?
feeling today.
Sure.
Not only is, I mean, what I'm, what I'm really picking up, I can barely pay attention to what he's actually saying, because he's reading it like an old fucking man reads a bedtime story to a child that he doesn't care, like he doesn't even know exists. He was just put there with words in front of him, and he's just and the fucking there's literally no emotion in anything that's coming out of this man's mouth. None. I
I
mean, am I wrong about that?
up to this point where he's talking about his son, I would have to agree. And when his son, did pass away a few years ago, I generally did feel bad for him. I don't think there was anyone who didn't have sympathy for him. But this may be the only genuine part of the speech so far,
Go on.
from what I'm picking up.
You get this feeling like you're being sucked into a black hole in the middle of your chest. There's no way out. My heart aches for you. And I know this. We have a continuing obligation, a sacred obligation to all of you, the families of those heroes. That obligation is not temporary, it lasts forever. The lives we lost today were lives given in the service of liberty, the service of security, in the service of others, in the service of America. Like their fellow brothers and sisters in arms who died defending our vision and our values in the struggle against terrorism. Of the fall on this day, they're part of a great and noble company of American heroes. To those who carried out this attack, as well as anyone who wishes America harm, know this: we will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay. I will defend our interests and our people with every measure at my command.
Why don't I believe that?
But
Do you believe that? Do you think anybody believes that?
I was just gonna say, but Joe, you abandoned all of our bases in Afghanistan 11 days ago. You've already failed at that tremendously. So no, Apex, to answer your question, I don't, and I don't think anyone does. Real quick, Bruce sitting in the chat bringing some levity, saying black hole is racist. Um, what makes you
That's
think?
right.
What makes you think my black hole wants to absorb all your white stars? Bring levity to this. Thank you, Brew.
Hell yeah.
Um, hell yeah.
Over the past few weeks, I know many of you are probably tired of hearing me say it.
Yes.
We've been made aware by our intelligence community that the ISIS-K, an arch enemy, the Taliban, people who were freed when both those prisons were opened, has been planning a complex set of attacks on the United States personnel and others.
Hold up. Okay. But Joe, you said back in early July that the Taliban or whatever you want to call them and ISIS, they weren't going to be a problem because 300,000 Iranians were trained, strongly to, defend Afghanistan. 300,000 Afghanis. So again, this was your fuck up.
This is why, from the outset, I've repeatedly said this mission was extraordinarily dangerous, and on why I've been so determined to limit the duration of this mission. As General McKenzie said, this is why our mission was designed, this is the way it was designed to operate. Operate under severe stress and attack. We've known that from the beginning. As I've been in constant contact with our senior military leaders, and I mean constant, round the clock, and our commanders on the ground throughout the day, they made it clear that we can and we must complete this mission, and we will. And that's what I've ordered them to do. We will not be deterred by terrorists. We will not let them stop our mission. We will continue the evacuation. I've also ordered my commanders to develop operational plans to strike ISIS-K assets, leadership, and...
He just said that we will not be, the terrorists do not dictate, or whatever the fuck he just said. It was literally 5 fucking seconds ago. I got some weird noise coming through your mic, man. There was an August 31st deadline.
Uh-huh.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly CIA director, CIA, somebody met with Taliban leadership that Taliban claims never happened, asking for an extension, and that there's all sorts of... So we're absolutely bowing to the whims of the Taliban. Now, ISIS has claimed responsibility for the bombings earlier. I don't know. Anyway, the Biden administration absolutely, and so has the last several administrations, negotiated with terrorists. So, sorry, I didn't mean to...
But again, Apex, I want to remind you and remind everyone else that back in July, ISIS and the Taliban weren't going to be a problem, according to old Joe here, because the Afghanis had under control.
Hey, practice your ASMR voice when you're holding it that close. You're kind of blowing your mic out. There we go.
They had it under control, man.
Hit play.
I'm Jabrocko Biden.
Facilities. We will respond with force and precision at our time, at the place we choose, in the moment of our choosing. Here's what you need to know. These ISIS terrorists will not win. We will rescue the Americans. We will get our Afghan allies out. And our mission will go on. America will not be intimidated. And I have the utmost confidence in our brave service members who continue to execute this mission with courage and honor to save lives and get Americans, our partners, our Afghan allies out of Afghanistan. Every day when I talk to our commanders, I ask them what they need. What more do they need, if anything, to get the job done? As they will tell you, I granted every request. I reiterated to them today on 3 occasions that they should take the maximum steps necessary to protect our forces on the ground in Kabul. And I also want to thank the Secretary of Defense and the military leadership of the Pentagon and all the commanders in the field. There has been complete unanimity from every commander on the objectives of this mission and the best way to achieve those objectives. Those who have served through the ages have drawn inspiration from the book of Isaiah, when the Lord says, "Whom shall I send? Who shall go for us?" The American military has been answering for a long time. "Here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am, send me." Each one of these women and men of our armed forces are the heirs of that tradition of sacrifice, of volunteering to go in harm's way, to risk everything, not for glory, not for profit, but to defend what we love and the people we love. And I ask that you join me now in a moment of silence for all those in uniform and out of uniform, military and civilian, who have given the last full measure of devotion. Thank you. May God bless you all, and may God protect the troops and all those standing watch for America. We have so much to do. It's within our capacity to do it.
May God smite you, you miserable old fuck. Sorry.
So I'm assuming there's going to be a Q&A at this point, because even though the speech was bad.
Oh, Sam, you don't even know this, do you? You don't even know this part up to this point?
I was gone all day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and my phone was blowing up this afternoon. So yeah, when I said on Twitter earlier tonight, folks, that I apparently missed a shit show, I wasn't kidding. This is why I'm doing this stream right now. I am live reacting to this. I realize I'm a bit late to the party, but yeah. You're watching me or listening to me react to this in real time, so yeah.
We just have to remain steadfast. Steadfast. We will complete our mission, and we will continue after our troops have withdrawn to find means by which we can find any American who wishes to get out of Afghanistan. We will find them, and we will get them out. Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
Did you hear that, Sam?
Have said leaving
Did you hear what he just
Afghanistan?
He said the first person I was instructed to call upon was some...
All caps, motherfucker. Instructed. I was instructed to call on. Fuck me.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have caught Trump doing that. That's for sure.
Even if it was scripted, he wouldn't be so fucking... It wouldn't be so goddamn obvious, man. Like... There is a such thing as a perception of strength. It's all an act, you know?
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's appropriate that Joe Biden is our fucking president right now, because the facade is coming down, bro.
Ooh, yeah.
and not just here in this country, but in a not just politically either, but um, yeah. I mean, Biden was getting some unnecessary praise last week for his, you know, the way his press conference about Afghanistan went about something about like, wow, it's not our problem. Like, oh, so everyone's like, oh, base, oh, it's base. No, that dude, no, no. Like, he's not fucking Ron Paul up there. He is pulling out any fucking card. Well, I'm sorry, his speech writers are pulling out every fucking stop to yeah. So anyway,
You know,
I've been instructed to call on who just
I
fucking whatever.
I am glad that you brought up Ron Paul though, because Bruce City has posted some Ron Paul videos in her Discord over the past couple days, and I want to point out that
I
Ron Paul.
wouldn't know,
I want to
but
I want to point out that Ron Paul is 91, and he's more cognitive.
that nigga had a heart attack on live stream a few months back. Do you
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah, but like I said, the dude is 91, and he is still fully there, and he survived a heart attack. Biden, granted, is old, but he's only 70 something. I don't have my phone on me, but I know Biden is in his mid 70s and he can't string a sentence together.
I think he's 78. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, still roughly a 20-year difference almost. So,
In the national interest of the United States. After today's attack, do you believe you will authorize additional forces to respond to that attack inside Afghanistan? And are you prepared to add additional forces to protect those Americans who remain on the ground carrying out the evacuation operation?
I've instructed the military, whatever they need, if they need additional force, I will grant it. But the military, from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs,
he looks like he's searching for his words right now.
But
commanders in the
Yeah.
no, play. No, go ahead, play.
field
I want to see what he says.
have all contacted me one way or another, usually by letter, saying they subscribe to the mission as designed to get as many people out as we can within the time frame that is allotted. That is the best way they believe to get as many Americans out as possible and others. And with regard to finding, tracking down the ISIS leaders who ordered this, we have some reason to believe we know who they are, not certain, and we will find ways of our choosing without large military operations to get them wherever they are. Trevor, Reuters.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's been some criticism, even from people in your party, about the dependence on the Taliban to secure the perimeter of the airport. Do you feel like there was a mistake made in that regard?
No, I don't. Look, I think General McKenzie handled it.
Jesus
What?
Christ, dude. Wait, no, I saw something earlier, and I have not seen confirmation of it yet. But I've seen a few people citing it, saying it's real. That oh no, Politico posted an article actually that the United States, American either service members or somebody gave names, green cards, and like phone numbers or something of both military servicemen and Afghani, like, our allies, whatever, interpreters and shit, people that we're
Yeah.
supposed to be taking care of, literally gave their names, green card info, and contact info to the Taliban to do security for Americans and American soldiers and American allies in Afghanistan. That's true. That's not fake news. That's what this reporter's asking him.
Holy shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I would ask if you're serious, but I know you're serious. Holy.
Serious. I mean, I'm not in the military. I can't confirm that. I'm just going off of what I'm reading.
Yeah, no, like I said, I believe you. It's just oh. Yeah.
Question very well. The fact is that we're in a situation, we inherited a situation, particularly since, as we all know, that the Afghan military collapsed 11 days before, in 11 days.
But again, Joe, you said they won it back in July, and I know I'm repeating myself, but I didn't want to. I don't often like to say I knew that this was going to be clusterfuck, but I did kind of call this like.
No, it's bad, man. This is it's bad. It's absolutely it's bad
Yeah.
for the Americans and for, I mean, I don't know. It's certainly bad for our servicemen and women and our allies that we have literally just said, "Yep." It's seemingly just, yep, sorry. Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
That it is in the interest of, as Mackenzie said, in the interest of the Taliban that, in fact, ISIS-K does not metastasize beyond what it is, number one. Number two, it's in their interest that we are able to leave on time, on target. As a consequence of that, the major things we've asked them, moving back the perimeter, giving more space between the wall, stopping vehicles from coming through, etc., searching people coming through. It is not what you'd call a tightly commanded, regimented operation like the U.S. is, the military is, but they're acting in their interest. And so, by and large, and I've asked the same question to military on the ground, whether or not it's a useful exercise. No one trusts them. We're just counting on their self-interest to continue to generate their activities. And it's in their self-interest that we leave when we said, and that we get as many people out as we can. Like I said, even in the midst of everything that happened today, over 7,000 people we've gotten out, over 5,000 Americans overall. So it's not a matter of trust, it's a matter of mutual self-interest. And but there is no evidence thus far that I've been given as a consequence by any of our commanders in the field that there has been collusion between the Taliban and ISIS in carrying out what happened today, both in front of the hotel and what is expected to continue for beyond today. Amir, Associated Press.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have spoken, again, powerfully about your own son and the weight of these decisions. With that in mind, and also what you've said, that the longer we stay, the more likelihood that there would be a major attack. How do you weigh staying even one more day, considering what's happened?
Because I think what America says matters. What we say we're going to do in the context in which we say we're going to do it, that we do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
Exceptional changes. There
This is pretty
are
exceptional.
additional American citizens. There are additional green card holders. There are additional personnel of our allies. There are additional SIV card holders. There are additional Afghans that have helped us. And there are additional groups of individuals that have been contacted us, from women's groups to NGOs and others, who have expressly indicated they want to get out and have gathered in certain circumstances in groups, on buses and other means. That still presents the opportunity for, in the next several days between now and the 31st, to be able to get them out. And our military, and I believe, to the extent that we can do that, knowing the threat, knowing that we may very well have another attack, the military has concluded that's what we should do. I think they're right. I think they're correct. And after that, we're going to be in a circumstance where will be, I believe, numerous opportunities to continue to provide access for additional persons to get out of Afghanistan, either through means that we provide and or are provided through in cooperation with the Taliban. They're not good guys, the Taliban. I'm not suggesting that at all. But they have keen interest. As many of you have been reporting, they very much would like to figure out how to keep the airport open. They don't have the capacity to do it. They very much are trying to figure out whether or not they can maintain what is the portion of an economy that has become not robust, but fundamentally different than it had been. And so there's a lot of reasons why they have reached out, not just to us, but to others, as to why it would be continued in their interest to get more of the personnel we want to get out. We can locate them. Now, there's not many left that we can assess that want to come out. There's some Americans we've identified, we've contacted the vast majority of them, not all of them, who don't want to leave because they're dual nationals, they have extended families, etc. And there's others who are looking for the time. So that's why we continue. I'll take a few more questions, but you, sir.
I wanted to ask
but
you,
that's okay.
you say that what America says matters. What do you say to the Afghans who helped troops who may not be able to get out by August 31st?
I say we're going to continue to try to get you out. It matters. Look, I know of no conflict, as a student of history, no conflict where when a war was ending, one side was able to guarantee that everyone they wanted to be extracted from that country would get out. And think about it, folks. I think it's important. I know the American people get this in their gut. There are, I would argue, millions of Afghani citizens who are not Taliban, who did not actively cooperate with us as SIVs, who, if given a chance, they'd be on board a plane tomorrow. It sounds ridiculous, but the vast majority of people in communities like that want to come to America, given a choice. So getting every single person out can't be guaranteed by anybody because there's a determination all who wants to get out as well. At any rate, it's a process.
I'm sorry, but we should focus on getting the Americans out first and foremost. End of story. And then where that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I shouldn't even have to say that, but here we are. Um, oh boy. Yeah, this is not good.
I was really pointing to you, but you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are reports that U.S. officials provided the Taliban with names of Americans and Afghan officials to evacuate. Were you aware of that? Did that happen? And then, sir, did you personally reject a recommendation to hold or to recapture Bagram Air Force Base?
Here's what I've done. Let's answer the last question first. On the tactical questions of how to conduct an evacuation or a war.
Wait. So Taliban took over Bagram. That's what I'm hearing.
I think they've taken the whole country.
I mean, bro, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I gather up all the major military personnel that are in Afghanistan, the commanders, as well as the Pentagon. And I ask for their best military judgment. What would be the most efficient way to accomplish the mission?
And Commander Ashbon Lena, identifying as she, them, they, walked right up to me with lipstick on her eyebrows and fucking blush on her tongue for some reason, because she identifies as makeup sexual. You see, she's our lead commander. She done told me. No, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell us what she told us, Joe.
Bagram was not much value added. That it was much wiser to focus on Kabul. And so I followed that recommendation.
You know, I know some veterans that served at Bagram, so I'm sure they would love to hear that the place where they called home for several years, and it's not that big of a deal in terms of strategy. Sure, that was our main base, but in the long run, it doesn't matter.
No, it
With
doesn't.
regard to, there are certain circumstances where we've gotten information, and quite frankly, sometimes from some of you, saying you know of such and such a group of people are trying to get
Whoa.
out on a.
Whoa. Okay, so he's saying he's getting intel from the press in the fucking White House press room. That's what he just said, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, Biden.
Good.
Biden, you know, he what you need to understand, Apex, is that Biden reads the real newspapers. You know, he follows like the actual newspapers and not like, you know, any of these fake news websites like the Orange Badman did. You see, so Biden actually knows what's going on in the world. So I'm told.
Right.
You got that, Jack?
Listen, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right. Play the video.
Moving from
Oh, fuck.
other people. And this is the location. And there have been occasions when our military has contacted their military counterparts in the Taliban and said, this, for example, this bus is coming through with X number of people on it, made up of the following group of people. We want you to let that bus or that group through. So yes, there have been occasions like that. And to the best of my knowledge, in those cases, the bulk of that has occurred, they've been let through. But I can't tell you with any certitude. There's actually been a
certitude,
list of names.
that's a word.
There may have been, but I know of no circumstance. It doesn't mean it didn't exist.
So the president of the fucking United States is sitting here telling the press and the world that he doesn't know for sure if the Taliban have been given names of American citizens and servicemen to provide them effectively security to pass through to the airport so they can come the fuck home safely. He can't say that with any certitude. Fuck's sake.
And yeah. And keep in mind too that this is the guy who was brought on Obama's ticket way back when because of his foreign policy experience. What a in Obama's presidency in terms of foreign policy was a shit show too, and with this guy as one of Obama's main policy advisors, it's no wonder.
Yeah.
And that was when Biden was all there too. So.
Right.
That here's the names of 12 people, they're coming, let them through. It could very well have happened. I'll take one more question. Wait. Let me take the one question from the most interesting guy that I know in the press.
What?
Wait, what?
What is this body language? What is happening right now?
Hold on a second.
Back that up, please.
Our military has contacted their military counterparts in the Taliban and said, this, for example, this bus is coming through with X number of people on it, made up of the following group of people. We want you to let that bus or that group through. So yes, there have been occasions like that. And to the best of my knowledge, in those cases, the bulk of that has occurred, they've been let through.
The bulk
But
of.
I can't tell you with any certitude that...
Do you mean certainty? Certitude?
Yes.
Certitude
is not a word.
I'm going to use that in my next paper. When my professor says it's not a word, I'm just gonna say, well.
Okay, hold on, Sammy. We're both fucking retarded. Joe Biden just got one over on a certitude means absolute certainty or conviction that something is the case. It's actually a word. I didn't think it was a word. It doesn't sound like a word when it comes out of that fucking retard's mouth. But go on.
Okay, well, thanks to whoever corrected us in the chat.
No, that was me. I just Googled it.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Google, I guess.
What the fuck? What am I here for if not to be a co-host / producer?
I appreciate it. And trust me, compared to this, neither of us are retarded. But we'll get to that in a sec. Oh, for fuck's sake!
There's been a list of names. I know there may have been, but I know of no circumstance. It doesn't mean it didn't exist. That here's the names of 12 people, they're coming, let them through. It could very well have happened. I'll take one more question. Wait. Let me take the one question from the most interesting guy that I know in the press.
Wait. So he's picking someone who he thinks is going to give him like a softball question.
No, Sammy. If at the very beginning of this, I asked you if you caught that, because he literally had a list of reporters that he was instructed, quote unquote, instructed to call on.
I caught that part.
So this is the last of those instructed, reporters to call on. which is why he's clutching that fucking
Binder.
binder thing like a goddamn Bible on his deathbed. What the fuck? Go ahead. Please play that. I want to hear what's going on here.
Oh.
That's you.
Mr. President, there had not been a U.S. service member killed in combat in Afghanistan since February of 2020. You set a deadline, you pulled troops out, you sent troops back in, and now 12 Marines are dead. You said the buck stops with you. Do you bear any responsibility for the way that
This
things
is
have
good.
unfolded in the last 2 weeks?
I bear responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened of late. But here's the deal.
Of late.
You know, I wish you'd one day say these things. You know as well as I do that the former president made a deal with the Taliban.
Ding, ding, ding,
Get
ding, ding,
all
ding, ding.
American forces.
Oh.
Orange Man. Look, I bear responsibility for all that has happened of late. But, you know, the
But-
former president, you know, he not only did he go, you know, 40, it was the longest time in American history that a new president has not started a foreign conflict. Well, certainly troops died under his, you know, presidency, but not like this.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Trump had like small military operations, but the key there is small military operations, not like Trump didn't start a full scale war. So translation, Biden, yeah, it's my fault, but the orange bad man is really to blame for this.
Yeah, so it's my fault, but it's not actually my fault, guys. That's literally what he fucking just said. This is like toddler level shit. You know what I mean? Like, look, I see the fucking watermelon on your hands. You've got seeds on your shirt, you little shit. Just admit that you ate the watermelon. Okay, I ate the watermelon, but only because my sister made me. You know, it's that sort of shit.
Yeah, oh god.
Out of Afghanistan by May 1. In return, the commitment was made, and that was a year before. In return, he was given a commitment that the Taliban would continue to attack others, but would not attack any American forces. Remember that?
No,
I mean,
I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember that part.
no, I'm asking you a question.
Who were
Because
the others, though?
No, wait a minute. I'm asking you a question. Is that accurate, to the best of your knowledge? What?
Oh boy. So someone sent me a screenshot of this specific moment because I had tweeted, I had tweeted that I missed the shit show, and this exact light here was what someone. Oh fuck yeah, it all makes this makes sense now. Oh boy. I'm going to finish this, but I'm going to go ahead and because why not? I'm going to hit the downvote button on this.
Yeah, please do.
Yep.
Pulling out of Afghanistan are just a way that things have happened.
I think they have an issue that people are likely to get hurt. Some, as we've seen, have gotten killed, and that it is messy. The reason why, whether my friend will acknowledge it or has reported it, the reason why there were no attacks on Americans, as you said, from the date until I came into office, was because the commitment was made by President Trump, I will be out by May 1st. In the meantime, you agree not to attack any Americans.
No, it's because Trump actually has balls and cojones, and no one in that region wanted to fuck with him
Well,
because
go ahead, sorry.
because they know that if he did, Trump wasn't gonna fuck around, and they saw what happened with Soleimani. Soleimani was planning an attack on this country. Trump, droned his ass, and they all went, "Holy fuck, this dude doesn't play around." So,
Yeah, he was like a top general. He was like a top general for fucking a major country, and just fucking delete. Um, yeah, I had something to say, but I lost it. Oh, yeah, no. I was actually an expansion on something I was talking about on the last Whitfield report, I believe, where I brought up how Trump, like, axed some CDC, emergency, viral infection fucking branch of the, government or something. He got rid of it, called it a waste of money or whatever. And then, like,
right,
8 months later, fucking COVID broke out.
yeah,
Well, it is not only common, it is literally par for the course that new presidents pick up old presidents' fucking shit and they have to deal with it. But this is different. This is, I mean, by even the most tacit viewers or passive viewers of politics can recognize that this is very different,
yeah.
At
Well,
least it seems to be.
and the other thing too, I want to, and we'll finish this, but I want to point out a few things. Obviously, the people listening to this on audio, they can't see this. But I want to point out that we're watching this on CNBC's YouTube channel. Okay, CNBC isn't necessarily a Trump, like a MAGA network at all, I think it's safe to say. And yet, 6.6, down votes to 1.8 up votes. That means that, that even the fucking normies are down voting this.
Well, you know what they'll say, if given the opportunity. That's just bot accounts. That's Russian bots. That's a Russian bot farm, trying to bring America and President Biden in all of his glory down.
Of course.
The deal. That's why no American was attacked.
Basically, you said you squarely stand by your decision to pull out.
Yes, I do. Because look at it this way, folks. And I have another meeting for real. But
for real though, guys. Look, babe. I'm sorry, but I have a meeting. I know there's. Look, I'm sorry that I jizzed on your pillow. All right, look, but I have got a meeting. I've got to go. I really do. This is important. One last question. Yeah, I mean, sure, I'll go grab you water. Sure, maybe a towel or something. But I gotta go.
I've got a meeting for real. What if?
I've got a meeting for real. The fucking 90,000-year-old fucking president of the United States just said.
Oh,
Jesus Lord, please save us. Go ahead.
Yeah, start writing, folks. Owen might actually be right. So. Oh, God.
if I had indicated on May the 1st I was not going to renegotiate an evacuation date, we were going to stay there, I'd have only one alternative: pour thousands of more troops back into Afghanistan to fight a war that we had already won relative to why the reason we went in the first place.
That's true.
I have never been of the view that we should be sacrificing American lives to try to establish a democratic government in Afghanistan, a country that has never once in its entire history been a united country,
Uh-huh.
and is made up, I don't mean this in a derogatory, made up of different tribes who have never, ever, ever gotten along with one another.
Also true.
Okay, but then okay, so follow-up question. Why didn't you tell Barry that? You were his VP for 8 fucking years.
Well, Sammy, see, his speechwriters did not write that for him back then. You see? He was not prompted to say these things. Because what he's saying is what the likes of Ron Paul and so many other, libertarian types, but Ron Paul obviously being the most prominent, have been saying for almost my entire life.
Same
Publicly.
Yeah, same here. But
Right.
Again, I'm let's pretend this isn't part of the script. I'm asking the question, obviously.
I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions, bro. I'm just asking questions here, bro. Go ahead. We're almost done. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So, as I said before, this is the last comment I'll make. We'll have more chance to talk about this, unfortunately, beyond, because we're not out yet. If Osama bin Laden, as well
Who's
as
dead?
Al-Qaeda, had chosen to launch an attack when they left Saudi Arabia out of Yemen, would we have ever gone to Afghanistan? Even though the Taliban completely controlled Afghanistan at the time, would we have ever gone? I know it's not fair to ask you questions, it's rhetorical, but raise your hand if you think we should have gone and given up thousands of lives and tens of thousands of wounded. Our interest in going was to prevent Al-Qaeda from reemerging, first to get bin Laden, wipe out Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, prevent that from happening again. As I've said 100 times, terrorism is metastasized around the world. We have greater threats coming out of other countries, a heck of a lot closer to the United States. We don't have military encampments there. We don't keep people there. We have over-the-horizon capability to keep them from going out. Ladies and gentlemen, it was time to end a 20-year war. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
Ooh, boy. Sure, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that he doesn't fucking govern.